On Tuesday, journalist Pablo Manriquez posted Ted Cruz's donor info on Twitter, only for everything to be deleted very soon after. It said, new, someone, presumably a staffer, left a folder full of briefing documents on Ted Cruz donors in the Senate refectory, a thread. The original post went viral, racking up over 6 million views. But if you go to the thread today, it'll likely look something like this. There's not a whole lot there. So what's missing? The post contained information regarding Ted Cruz's schmoozing schedule. That's hard to say. Dinners with donors, that kind of thing. There were even biographies of each of the donors with pictures for Ted, lest Ted forget where his money interests lie and not mix them up with one another. But as you saw, X, the platform that you all know is now owned by right-wing tech billionaire Elon Musk, took down the post claiming that it violated X rules. The rules state that users may not publish or post other people's private information, such as home phone number and address, without their express authorization and permission. We also prohibit threatening to expose private information or incentivizing others to do so. And the post may have done that. The exact times and locations of Cruz's meetings were posted, and one of the donors had their address posted. We'll get into that in a bit, but Farron, so far it seems like the journalist could have at least edited out some of those details to prevent his post from being taken down entirely. Like he could have redacted a little bit, a little strategic redaction. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if these are horrible, evil people, you don't want to put that out there. Bad things can happen, and we certainly don't want that. But I think it was more kind of the excitement about it. Kind of jumped the gun a little bit without thinking about redacting. It was like, oh my God, this is big. I got to get it out there as soon as possible because, Ted Cruz was apparently only, hours away from starting some of these meetings. So, it's a little sloppy on that part, but, the heart was in the right place trying to get this information out to the public as quickly as possible.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
And I do have to wonder, right? Was this a clumsy staffer that just left this laying around in the cafeteria, or was it a disgruntled staffer? Because that's the kind of thing you don't just forget that you have. So I don't know, maybe there's somebody in Ted Cruz's office that's a little annoyed with him at this point and just said, you know what? Let's set this right here and let's just see where the chips fall. I would love to think that that is what happened. Of course, that may just be wishful thinking. But again, you don't typically just forget that you have this massive dossier with donor information in it. So
now that you said it, I am going to believe that that is what happened because nobody likes Ted Cruz, right? I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Ted Cruz is not like Ted Cruz. His family doesn't like him. His kids don't like him. His dog doesn't like him. His constituents tolerate him. I'm one of them. Technically, I don't like him, but the documents detailed Cruz's meetings with 8 donors who collectively pledged nearly $20,000 to his Senate reelection campaign. Included on that donor list was Ronald Lauder as an Estee Lauder Cosmetics. He's a billionaire and the former US ambassador to Austria during the Reagan administration. Then there was John Loeb Jr., ambassador to Denmark under Reagan, which is an interesting pattern. Loeb is a big fan of religious freedom and the separation of church and state, which we know that the Republicans typically try to erode. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the aftermath. And then there was Barbara and James Reibel, Mayo Clinic benefactors, and Peter Thorin, who is the so-called gatekeeper to Ukrainian-born billionaire Sir Leo Blavatnik. Manriquez went, after his thread went viral, he decided to address his quote-unquote haters. We can't show you the video, though, because he flips off his haters. So as I said, I'm not a fan of my Senator Ted Cruz. So anything that makes him look or even feel bad makes me smile a little bit, which is not very nice, but that's how I feel. Farron, what do you think about that donor list, though?
What really gets me is the fact that this was happening. All of these meetings that were detailed in this took place on Tuesday, Wednesday, and some upcoming, today, tomorrow, and this weekend. But this is all happening, and And they're back to back to back. Like he has full afternoons of just meeting with donors. It comes at the same time that right now in the Senate, Ted Cruz is single-handedly in committee holding up legislation to provide subsidies for high-speed internet throughout the country. So Ted Cruz is blocking a piece of vital legislation for vital American infrastructure. And what is his priority? Not going back and doing his job. His priority is going to glad hand these donors and tell them how much he wants from them, right? Because that's in those documents too, how much he's supposed to be asking each person for. So that's where his priorities are. At a time when we have a Congress that is passing the fewest pieces of legislation in American history, they're not focused on doing their jobs because they're just focused on where's my next paycheck coming from? Are these people gonna give me the money I need? Can I take this back to Texas and run some more ads? That's where Ted Cruz's mind is. He is blocking legislation to give middle America high-speed internet, all because he wants to go meet with his donors.
Yeah, God, he's just the worst.
He really is.
And I really hope I don't get stuck with another 6 years of him.